So I'd like to invite Jamie to join me here on the stage.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a great video.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful.
This is wonderful.
Bless you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jamie's efforts have really been extraordinary over many years, especially his efforts focusing on the reducing the burden of childhood obesity. He's had television shows. He has a foundation that's generously supported this work. But probably most of all, he's been there what he describes as skin on skin in the schools, in the restaurants, in the neighborhoods, and that's really extraordinary amount of energy he's put in his thousands and thousands of hours. And for this reason, we're really very honored to have you be the recipient of the 2012 Healthy Cup.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Great. And now it's my pleasure and your treat to turn the podium over to Jamie.
Wow. Okay, well, it's lovely to see such a large amount of clever people. What on earth am I doing? I once dreamt of having to be able to hold a cup like this, you know, for soccer, football, and it wasn't meant to be. But I have to say, if there's ever a cup to hold, this represents something way, way more important. I'm going to try and say a few words. I'm going to try and make sense. I'm going to try and give a little bit of me to you to see where I'm coming from. First, I've written some notes. I don't particularly like doing speeches, and to put it in, I came out of school with nothing. So to be in Harvard, there's a little bit. Before I go, I'm going home to England tonight, and before then, any sign that says Harvard, I will have a picture of me next to it. So I would like to milk it, as they say in England. Sincerely, first of all, to Dr. Walter and all of the Nutrition Roundtable, thank you so much for this honour. What an honour. It's really useful. It's a useful honour. This is useful to me. This gives me, I hope, a relationship going forward that, you know, to be able to dip into you guys, unbelievable. But also on my continued journey of, I guess, activism, stirring, you know, to have this, it means a lot. I wrote the sort of notes for this speech this morning. I didn't really, as I said, I don't like writing speeches. I try not to do them too often. Food Revolution Day was a little start, May 19th. We actually got to 668 cities, which is great, 64 countries. It just gathered momentum, you know, and we didn't finance it. We just put it out there into the communities. And we're just starting to hive all the data and the, you know, the pictures and the videos and the things that have been done. But what's beautiful about it is for a first year of a very organic day, people really loved the excuse to stand up for real food. They really need it. There's a lot of really great people around America, the UK, and the world that are passionate about the things that you're passionate about. Mothers, fathers, groups, all trying to make a difference. But you guys know how hard it is to make a difference, because even when Harvard comes up with the data and the measurements and the statistics and the facts and all of the things about protecting public health, you also know how hard it is. to go up against big business and try and get stuff to happen in government. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. So I'm kind of just going to put it out there. So anyone in here got one of these? Yeah. All of you, yeah? Apart from Dr. Walter, he hasn't got one. Okay. I've got anyone on Instagram? Everyone, whoever's on Instagram, say yeehaw. Right. So Dr. Walter, you've got to get with the game. Okay, so I've been... I know the dude that invented Instagram. I met him 18 months ago. He was skint. He just sold it 2 weeks ago for $1 billion. It's an app, and it's a community, and it's through pictures. So because it's artistic, it's a much nicer community than words, which is Twitter. And on my community, I just went onto my iPhone notes, and I wrote about 2 hours ago, Dear Instagram, work with me, please. Imagine a world where any person had the same access to a happy, healthy, long life, rich or poor, regardless of race or religion. Where every child was educated about how amazing food is, where it comes from, how it affects their bodies, and how it can save your life. Where children were fed real food, and it was nutritious at school from the age of 4 to 18. Now, you guys, carry on, Instagrammers. And since then, 3,200 people have liked that. And 618, which is a conversion, if I remember rightly, clever people, of 1 in 6. 1 in 6 have commented. And I'm just going to mention a few. This is real people, live. Imagine a world where I knew where my meat came from and the animals were treated with respect. I'm going to fast forward 50, and hopefully there'll be no rude ones. Imagine a world where children and parents gardened veggies together. Let's just fast forward. Make one that makes sense. Imagine a world where the value of fresh water would be taught since kindergarten, and aqueducts would be built to reach the drought-ridden fields of every village, deserted, devastated area. It's getting deep, right? I've been through about 200 of these, and they're all really good. And if you use Instagram, half an hour, people are on it. 1 in 6 people are on it. I'm going to give you some of my list, and I won't bore you with it. But, this is just what I was kind of thinking. Where children could get clean, safe water, where mothers wouldn't feed Coca-Cola in bottles to their babies, where every child was taught about food. We did that one. Where kids would learn cooking skills at school, where families have time to sit down once a week, where when you read the back of food packaging or you heard a TV advertisement, it would actually be the whole truth, where the fast food industry would not only spend billions of dollars marketing highly processed junk foods, but passionately promote fresh fruits, veggies, and salads in a cool, tasty way, where hunger and obesity did not live 2 miles away from each other, where the FDA and the USDA actually spent time looking after only children's interests and not special interest money. That's not bad for this morning, is it, really? Where small family farmers that really needed help and support would get it, and where industrial farmers didn't. Where children actually want to eat healthy food. Where real food was as readily available as junk. Where there were no food deserts in our communities. Where milk was just milk and not riddled with more sugar and additives than soda. Where chicken could just be chicken, and the ingredients list did not read like a scientific equation. Where a child's best interest isn't compromised by the meat processing industry, the milk industry, the grain industry, sugar cartels, unions, or lobbyists, just to mention but a few. Where kids have more than 23 minutes for lunch. And I'm going to round it up now. Where people actually listen to what kids wanted because they want change and they want it now. And where the biggest cause of death wasn't self-inflicted through food. So that just kind of got me going a bit. And like, you know, this is a tough one because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say to these really clever people, and I'm just so honoured to be here, and I'm just going to carry on with my blurt. But as you all know, this problem is complex in so many ways. There is not one answer, which is what only governments look for. There's not a single country in the world that is dealing with this epidemic. Not a single country in the world. And this is the world that we live in. We are a world obsessed by sustainability, but we are not sustainable. So, you know, I think we can all say that we're doing a great job of killing ourselves pretty efficiently. And still, and I'm absolutely not undermining the importance of Harvard, Yale, Cambridge, Oxford, all the wonderful other universities. We need you. The planet needs you. We all need you. And the incredible work that you do gets filtered down in so many wonderful ways. God, we need you. But still, you know, nothing truly radical from business and government has happened. Truly radical, radical in the sense of looking at the deaths and the cost of bad health. Nothing truly radical is being pushed forward. Nothing. So let's just have a little look at this. Some corporations are doing some good stuff. Great. Many are doing nothing. But many of them, well, sorry, all of them will do something for $1. And I think that's the kind of common denominator to progress here, for me, in my head, the dollar. They'll follow that next dollar. And the best example of following the dollar, and then let's just reprise a little bit. I personally, sorry, I'm open-minded, I've lost faith in government. And I don't have faith in my government. And honestly, I don't have faith in yours either. And I think most of you probably agree with me. I do, because we know what's going on. Corporations, I don't particularly trust them either. These aren't quaint little businesses, family-run businesses. In actual fact, the big family-run businesses often do have heart and soul and has their tentacles out into the community and look after the welfare of their staff and la and la and la. But the big ones, but it's cool to look good. So they're starting to do some stuff, but I don't trust them. Our only hope, I believe, is the public, the communities, people. And the sexiest thing that those people have to governments and business is money. Shame. So about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, a scientist working for a company who boasted they had their product in 88% of all ground meat products in America, did a whistle blow. And he named this substance pink slime. Okay? And we did a little story on Food Revolution on it. And I didn't provoke too much, but I just kept the natural conversation of America and beyond alive on Twitter. Just Twitter it out. Retweet. People were finding out stuff. Staff that worked there were saying stuff. Do you know what was really beautiful? And with all that I find depressing about government and business, what I find inspiring is, well, when you give the public good, clear information, 9 times out of 10, they make really good choices. They really do. If it's good, clear information, they make good choices. And when pink slime broke, people went crazy online. And within 3 months, what is that? That is so super turbo fast. McDonald's, we're banning it. Sorry? What do you mean you're banning what? And of course, the USDA, the strange organization that they are, made it law to, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I hate them, I just think it's a mess. And like, they made it law for that company to put that product into your food, 88% of all ground meat products, without having to tell you. Wrong, illegal in my country, immoral. When the public were told about it, they stood up and they retweeted, and McDonald's banned it, and you saw the list, Taco Bell, KFC, they all followed. The military, they followed. Hey, we don't want our guys going out to Afghanistan eating that crap either. You know, it's like, they're gone. You know, that, to me, was the sign, just recently, that people really do care. We should all keep doing what we're doing. I'm going to keep campaigning. I'm going to keep trying to get in on the things that are relevant in TV, in magazines, in paper, Food Revolution Day. You guys, you should all keep doing what you're doing because you're doing amazing stuff. None of us should stop what we're doing. But I can't help but get over the fact that it's not really working. It's not really working. And I kind of think, like, we do need a revolution, don't we? We do need a revolution. And, like, the public are bigger than government, or they could be if they were organized in the right kind of way. And they are bigger than business because they just follow the dollar if they were organized in the right way. So I was in England the other day doing one of my projects. We did a new thing this year called the Kitchen Garden Project, inspired by Alice Waters, good local girl. You know, and really simple. You go to the poorest schools, you build them a kitchen to teach in, you build them a garden to grow in, you mail them every quarter seeds, you kick them off with love, care, attention, and structure the parents, the teachers right, and you get them growing stuff and cooking stuff. And you go to the teachers who have got too much to do anyway, and you sort of say, right, you've got to worry about art or history or math. Right, it's cool, cool, cool. Use our kitchen and use cooking. Here's some recipes that's an amazing way to teach subtraction, multiplication, pie charts. You know, you can smell it, you can touch it. They'll be learning about more than just maths. It's a life skill that will be with them forever. It's great, it's great. I wish I had more money, and I hope I earn more money so I can spend more money doing these beautiful things. But as I walked out of the playground, and just to put it in perspective, this school was comparable to the areas that I worked in East LA, where there was, 80% obesity in children and 88% free school lunches, which meant utter poverty as far as we were concerned. I walked out, and there's like 100 kids in the playground, and they're like this. Woo! Oh, it's Naked Chef, look. Oh, Jamie Oliver. Oh, that's nice. Hey, can I have a picture? Can I have a picture? And I'm like, Apple, 340 quid. BlackBerry, a couple of £100. Samsung, Pebbles. I'm like, kids, are these your phones? Yeah. I'm like, are you serious? Yeah. Stop moving. I've only got 400 million pixels. But I just spent God knows how much money building a kitchen and setting up a structure, and God knows how much the foundation cost me this year for these poor kids. That in front of me was 40 grand of tech. And one of these phones had more technology than that was on the first rocket that went to the moon. So clearly, you're all bright people. You know about, the changing of cultures and priorities and nutrition transition and all that malarkey. We got our priorities all kind of mixed up, but we know that. So I'm kind of passionate and depressed about where we're at. And the data that you guys, more than anyone in the world, know about is not small, it's great. The pain and anguish and the slow deterioration of health, self-confidence, happiness, productivity, joy, we're being squashed by what we know as the epidemic of obesity, bad health. We can't afford it. So I'm kind of thinking, I don't know what the answer is. No one does, really, because we would have done it by now, wouldn't we? And we haven't. I don't really like big business, and I don't really like the governments anymore, because they're all just wound up in their own thing. So I'm focusing on the public, as far as I'm concerned. I'm just focusing on the public. And then I start looking at these bloody things. And my belief, my hope, I pray that these things that have some negative connotations, I hope that this could change the world. It's starting to in Africa, communications between people, on really basic stuff. You know, we're sitting there doing silly messages, pictures and porn. You know, in Africa, it's important stuff like water. You know, but it's really important. This could change the world. Now, I don't know the answers, like I said, but I just made up something today. Got to go and remind myself. It's called SIBA. It's a good name, isn't it? It's about as good as Google, Yahoo, and Pinterest, probably. SIBA, Smart Ethical Buying App. All right, I'm going to work on it. Let me give you a dream, because it's the only one that I believe, in my experience, which is minimal, but of the 10 years of campaigning, working in communities, in my own town, in America, in other countries around the world, annoying businesses, nearly getting sued by them, annoying governments, not getting sued by them, but, you know, I believe that something good could come out of this. And if there was an app, and God, the technology I'm talking about now exists. Like, if it was a cool enough app that, like, made you that have got apps, who commit to apps, go back to it, like that little bit of dopamine response. You know, that dopamine, man, like, yeah, I got some follows, or yeah, some comments, or oh, yeah, I got more friends, or yeah, I've just cleaned my inbox. It's empty. Ooh. Or when you go gaming, oh, I won. Oh, I didn't win. I'm going to win next time. You know, serotonin, dopamine, whatever. That's all the only reason that, you know, Farmville is, you know, the dude made like $1 billion in 3 years purely from inventing a game that never ends that stimulates dopamine. What's going on in this bloody world? So what I'm saying to you is the technology exists, right? If we can get the dopamine response right so people feel like part of a community, so it's cool for young, for teenagers, maybe it's different things for different people. If an app could be used to just get to know you, 10 questions, boom, I know who you are, I know where you're coming from, I know if you're rich or poor, I know where you live, I know if you've got kids, I know if you're a single mother. You know, and as you use it more, it intelligently gets to know you even more about your patterns. Maybe, because in 5 years' time we won't have credit cards anymore, they'll all be on here. Maybe the revolution that needs to happen is just there. Maybe that app could help you spend your money more than often in the right direction, supporting the right people. And if you want to scratch deeper, it's like an onion, baby. You know, you can have recipes, you can have help. If you're diabetic, boom, diabetic relevant. If you've got specific information. If you're a single mum, you've got $50 to feed your family a week, boom, recipes. It's all just noughts and crosses. And some clever bastard's got to join it all up. And they're out there. They're definitely in America, and they're definitely in San Francisco. And they're definitely in this room. My wish is that in the next 3 years, a real food revolution happens. As mental as Facebook. Who would have thought that? You know, Instagram got sold for $1 billion two weeks ago. It was 18 months old. It had 40 staff. I hope, I pray that something beautiful that is so loved by rich and poor, that could be used to pay very shortly for everything, could help to slowly drive the American, the British, the global public, slowly but surely, into a better, healthier future. I believe it. I really believe it. We can't say it can't happen because too many things that are bonkers have happened. So I'm going to wind it up. Have I done all right so far? You're very generous. So you'll be seeing Seba soon. I tried swapping around the words and it just got a little, you know, some weren't appropriate. But anyway, we'll move on. Two things I want to say. Without doubt, modern day health is a basic human right. And my uncompromised belief is that whether you're English, American, or any dude on the planet, I believe that most of the time we'll make great decisions if we're informed properly. And therefore, that gives us hope. And we could really, really deal with that. We could really do with that right now. Thank you.